Way back in 2005, really, we began to think that possibly children in Key Stage 3 weren't getting really the curriculum that they needed. We felt that the pupils who were being churned out of the school at the other end in the sixth form perhaps lacked independence and resilience as learners. So in 2010 we narrowed from 27 departments to 9 learning areas. As successful futures approached, unbeknown to us, we'd already made a further leap in our minds through what we call the ALUN curriculum. And we therefore narrowed to 6 learning areas, as we call them in the school. I communicate, which includes English, modern foreign languages and Welsh. I calculate, which includes maths, computing and information technology. I discover, which is science and technology. I think, which is humanities. I create, which is expressive arts. And I thrive, which is health and well-being.
On pretty much every topic in each subject, we will reflect on the 4 purposes.
The 4 purposes are created by Professor Donald.
Yeah. So one of them is becoming a healthy, confident individual. One of them's ethical, informed citizen, ambitious, capable learner, and enterprising, creative contributor.
They're all to develop you as a person for later life. So it's really making you really confident and individually capable.
What was important was to empower staff with a genuine confidence to move forward with something different and to look at all planning for learning through the lens of the 4 purposes.
Within our area of learning experience, every member of staff, regardless of whether they were going to teach it or not, were involved in the planning process. Everybody had a voice, everybody was on board in terms of having a vision of what we were trying to create. It wasn't something that was imposed. Everybody collectively came together to really decide what we felt teaching and learning should be like within our own learning area.
It's been crucially important for our staff to go through the experience of creating the curriculum that they now own. And that is an absolutely crucial point that I would want to be putting across, because they have valued the opportunity to sit down, often with colleagues they've hardly met before in this very large school because they're teaching in different subject areas, and to forge the links.
We were sort of given time together as a learning area, and then you know, everything sort of was planned together.
I mean, that moment when we just all sat down in a room was really, really powerful. Conversation just went alive. People started thinking, well, we could do this, and actually we could do that, and then the links started to become very organic, and it just flew.
All the subjects are actually linked. I Discover Science is linked with I Discover DT, because it's the same subject, but I Discover DT is then linked with I Create Art. That's linked to all the other subjects in I Create, so it's all linked together.
By connecting the subjects together, we get taught in a very detailed way, and we get more insight onto what we're being taught about, and then we can convert that to being having an impact in our later life.
I'm a geography specialist, but I will speak to other members of staff who might give me a little bit more information about maybe a topic that I've yet to cover. So working as part of a team and having that collaborative spirit really, really helps.
When you go into what your parents say, the real world, there's lots of group work and lots of things linked together, which makes sense. Therefore, if in school you link them together to help contribute to your later life.
Why wouldn't you want to engage pupils with authentic learning experiences that were actually grounded in national themes, global themes, and sometimes highly local themes with which they can engage?
If we could find no inherent purpose within doing something, then why do it? It has to have relevance to resonate with the pupils.
Every different subject, you get to learn different life skills. For example, in D&T, we're currently doing cooking. They're trying to teach you about how to keep a good balanced diet. They're saying bring at least 2 vegetables for your filling, bring at least a protein.
They can see the things they're learning are very current and very sort of in their face in day-to-day life, so it's sort of dealing with issues that they they see that are relevant, whereas before it was always, why do we need to know this? What is the point in this? And sometimes we didn't have the answers to those questions ourselves.
You are using the practical skills of they need to learn, but as well you are seeing another side of them.
And we're also like learning things not just about ourselves, but for other people. For example, in I think we're learning about fair trade and how the farmers' lives are going as well. So like we're understanding how it's like in different areas of the world.
You're being ambitious in practically every class because you know that when you're learning something new, that's a challenge in itself.
The curriculum has like the I think, I thrive and stuff like that. So you're like you're being independent.
We are asking pupils to be ambitious and capable learners and to be resilient. Well, we were challenging staff to be exactly the same. So we've had to be far more innovative, more creative, more collaborative than we've ever been previously.
I think we should be excited about the new curriculum because it provides us with a lot more opportunities to become involved in developing our own resources and ideas.
You know, Welsh Government and senior leadership here have given us a kind of enough trust to let us start to develop activities and tasks and projects that are a lot more engaging and exciting.
Along with the children learning new things, we are too, and I think that's really important as a staff. You know, we're asking these children to do quite scary things and ambitious things sometimes, and I think if we've got staff that are willing, then, you know, and it's good for children to see that you're learning as well.
If you're going to pursue an initiative like this, I think it's important that you don't slavishly stick to one iteration or an idea. Because sometimes, you know, schools are very different, and I think sometimes schools find themselves in slightly different contexts, and therefore I think it's important for school leaders not to beat themselves up over the fact that they may not be perfectly aligned with one particular vision, but actually make the thing work in their school.
The beauty of the new curriculum is the autonomy it provides schools with to be able to respond to contextual changes as society changes, as cohort changes, as individual groups change. You have the flexibility to adapt to those changes and create learning experiences bespoke to the needs of those learners.
We sort of continue in this school to go through this change, and, you know, we sort of alter our schemes almost sometimes on a monthly basis. You know, if something doesn't work, then we are given the free rein to, well, if it hasn't worked, try something new. And
we're still reflecting, we're still evolving. The curriculum is not as we want it to be yet, and society is evolving at a rate, and so we should respond to that as well. And I understand that people can be fearful of the future of where are our learners going in terms of GCSEs, but if by the end of year 9 we have our full purposes learners as they should be, I don't think it matters whatever the qualification is that they will be sitting.
It almost doesn't matter what waits for us at GCSE or even A-level. If we get this curriculum right, we will have learners who will thrive with any level of challenge.